Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, your friendly perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella, Kate's daughter, representing all the women who are nowhere near perimenopause but want to understand it better.
Whether you're just starting your perimenopause journey, deep into it, or you're a loved one trying to support someone who is, we've got you covered.
We'll be answering all of your burning questions, exploring the ups and downs, and sharing expert advice and personal insights.
So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's dive into the wonderful, sometimes wild, world of perimenopause together.
And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you are not alone.
Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause.
Hello, my darlings, and welcome to episode 6, I think then, season 3 of the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, a perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella Grosvenor, Kate's daughter. It's alone with you all.
It's a very, very special episode today. First and foremost, because this episode is sponsored by our good friends at Lillette's, who are helping us to feel confident every chapter of our lives, which we love you for. It's a special shout out to the beautiful, beautiful humans at Lillette's. Woohoo! And also because this is the nearest episode to World Menopause Awareness Day. So if you are in perimenopause or in menopause, we are sending you so much love today, because this is a very, very special episode.
Yeah.
And because this episode is sponsored by the gorgeous humans at Lillette's, we are talking all about periods.
Fun one.
Funsies. But it's an episode that we need to talk about because, you know, it's really
stage.
Listen, periods for most women start around age 12, 13.
Yeah.
And
11.
You were. I was 12. I started on holiday. That was sucky. Yeah, I was like, horrid. And for many women, they go on up until 50, 51, 52, they can go on. So you're talking 40 years of your life. That's a huge number. And when we look at even the statistics around perimenopause, like a menopause, so in the UK right now, there's around 13 million women that are either in perimenopause or menopause. That's a third of the population of female population in the UK, right? Are either in perimenopause or menopause. That's a huge number.
And we'll get there. If they're not in perimenopause or menopause now.
Well, yeah, I mean, statistically, 51% of the population, right,
go through
are going to go through it, that were assigned female at birth, are going to go through perimenopause or menopause. So that's gigantic. So obviously, Let's contacted me and said, hey, hi, girl, let's talk about periods. And it's a really, really important conversation because periods are one of the main things that changes when you get into perimenopause.
That's the sign of menopause.
Well, it's one of the first things that people say, is that the thing that I can expect to change?
Yeah.
First, is that the most significant thing that is going to change when I get to perimenopause?
Yeah. Because
that's the thing that they think everyone thinks is going to change. Yeah. And the answer is maybe. So if I were to say to you, pretend you know nothing, just
to me, Gabby.
Yes, you, Gabby, not knowing what you know and not having been around me for the last few years. If I was to say to you, as a complete beginner, you're going towards perimenopause, what would you expect your periods to do?
Stop.
Yes, or get
heavier. Like, that's why I just, or more irregular.
Yeah, so most women would think, okay, if I'm going to go towards menopause, my periods are either going to stop or they're going to get lighter, they're going to get further apart. Yeah. That's what most people think.
Yeah.
So women get shocked.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they will get heavier. So usually the giveaway is that something's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that giveaway could be your periods get heavier, your periods get lighter, your periods get closer together, your periods get further apart, your periods stop altogether, your periods are suddenly like almost gone and then come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, that one's a common.
Really painful. So what's up with that is the question. And what's up with that is our good friends, estrogen and progesterone.
Of the hormones, yeah.
So basically, estrogen, as we know, is the kind of grower. It's the fertilizer, as I call it, in your female reproductive system. So that's the one that's going to kind of release the egg, and that's the one that's kind of responsible as the fertilizer. And progesterone is the mower. Progesterone is the one that kind of releases the endometrium, the kind of uterine lining. So when you're going through perimenopause, your estrogen is going to fluctuate massively. And then if everything was in balance, what would happen would be that your progesterone comes along and it makes everything really fertile. And then your progesterone comes along and everything's in balance. So releases the egg. And then progesterone, the egg isn't fertilized. So progesterone comes along and sheds the uterine lining and everything's in balance. It happens on a lovely 28-day cycle. And it's regular as clockwork. And then sometimes what happens, because your estrogen's fluctuating all over the place and your progesterone is declining, the balance between estrogen, you could be really, really estrogen dominant at one point because your progesterone might be really, really low and your estrogen might be really high. And so you don't have very much progesterone to kind of clear things out, if you like. And then suddenly your estrogen's quite low and your progesterone's kind of caught up. And it kind of whooshes everything out of your system. And so you suddenly get all of this progesterone kind of pushing everything out almost at one time. And so you get this huge period, heavy period.
Does it hurt more?
Yes. So you're going to get like this kind of like heavy period. And other times you might be estrogen dominant and get really kind of PMSy, so really crampy and moody and headachy because you're lacking in progesterone. So you're not getting that kind of soporific effect because progesterone is the one that kind of makes you feel more relaxed. It helps to relax your muscles as well. It helps to make everything kind of really, really nice down there.
I don't know how important progesterone was until we started this podcast. Genuinely.
Yeah, right.
There's so much awareness for just progesterone.
Progesterone's the unsung hero, babe. Progesterone's like our mate. And progesterone's like the steady Eddie of the sex hormone world. The thing is that you could just be, completely out of sync and get these like massively heavy periods. And that's one of the things that I was talking to, that I've been raising awareness with Lilette's about, because they've brought out a range of sanitary products that are specifically aimed at women that have very, very heavy periods. And in particular, women that are going through perimenopause and women like yourself. So they support the menopause charity and they support the endometriosis charity. Now, we've talked about endometriosis and you, bless your heart, before, but they support the endometriosis charity and the menopause charity. So I've handed over to you some of their sanitary towels for you to have a look at. And I've got with me the tampons and the panty liners. So I want you to have a look at those because you obviously are more inclined towards, this is TMI for everybody else, but you're more inclined towards sanitary towels. So open one up because I think these...
I'm looking at the heavier ones first because obviously with endometriosis you do tend to get heavier periods. Yeah. That is really long.
Yeah.
That is really long, actually. That is so useful.
So their thing is all about confidence in your period.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things
that helps so you don't like leak at the back.
That's the point.
Oh, that's so useful.
And that's the point. So Lilette's whole point is that women going through the perimenopause should have more, should be able to feel confident as well. And I think that's one of the things that we don't talk enough about in perimenopause or with women in perimenopause, about you lose confidence in your body because you don't know when your period's going to come, because you don't know how heavy it's going to be, because you don't even know if you're going to have period leaking. You don't know what your discharge is going to be like. You change body odors, you change vaginal odors, you lose all this confidence in your body in general. The last thing you want to worry about as well is if your period's going to leak all over your clothes. Yeah. So
and you so think you're over that phase after I
know, right?
We're a few years of puberty and you think I'm used to it now. It'll be okay. It's still like when you leak. Now I've had my periods for 14 years now, and I still sometimes I'll leak here and there. I'm like, oh no.
I know.
But it's just, it makes you feel a bit more normal and a bit more sane when you know it's women still.
Yeah, but we shouldn't. This is the thing. We can feel this So we don't want shame anymore.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is reduce the shame around things like, you know, our periods being all over the place in perimenopause. We need to have these conversations because it's not as easy as all that. So that's why the extra length helps you to feel more confident and more secure. And that's what you're looking for. Also in perimenopause, it's...
Even with the light ones.
Yeah.
It's still just as long. I didn't think they would be.
No, that's the thing.
That's
so
good.
So they're both like super absorbent and they're both really, really long.
And they have front and back wings.
And they have front and back wings. There you go. And that's just so you feel extra confident.
Yeah. And extra secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we're having these conversations, so that you know that there are sanitary towels and sanitary products out there that even though you might not feel confident in your body or might not feel confident during your period, there is a company out there that's saying, hey, listen, we have got your back.
Yeah.
And we need to be having those conversations about what that looks like. So even with the tampons, for example, now, not every woman would feel confident with a non-applicator tampon, but I'll tell you, there's 2 reasons why they're really, really important. I'm ruining the box. Sorry, Lilith. Now, first and foremost, with all the products, it's really, really important when you're on your period in perimenopause, it's extremely important that you're choosing products that are chlorine bleach-free, dye-free and fragrance-free, because in perimenopause, you are lacking in estrogen, so you're lacking in your natural collagen, your body's not producing its own moisturizer, its own lubricant, sorry to be TMI on that one, but that means around your vulva, around all your genitalia in general, and just in your skin, you are going to be much more sensitive. Anything that's got bleaches, dyes, fragrances, you're going to find it really irritating. So absolutely 100% you must choose products that don't have kind of harsh chemicals in them. I don't agree with it anyway, these fragrance panty liners and stuff. You really don't need them. But especially in perimenopause, don't get me started on those kind of like those products that I'm not bashing any of the companies whatsoever, but those products that are like marketed to women that you should like spray yourself down there to get rid of your natural odors. And I'm like, oh, please don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so these are the non-applicator tampons. A good idea in perimenopause because when you've got an applicator tampon, you can't navigate. It's less sensitive when you're using your fingers in perimenopause. Because you've got less natural lubricant, you're going to be more sensitive with your fingers than you would naturally be with an applicator. And obviously it's not made of plastic, so it's going to be more sensitive. So this is ultra-absorbent because it's thicker. So it's going to wrap around and make sure there's going to be no leaks.
That's really cool. I'm not a tampon girl, but that's really cool.
Yeah. So you see, every day is a school day. Yeah. So because it's thicker, it's more absorbent, and because there's not an applicator, you are going to be more sensitive than an applicator would. So that's really good. And the last one in the range are the panty liners, and they're very discreet. We like a discreet panty liner because they're folded up. So on those in between kind of days, you just keep them in your bag. You will go through times when you have a discharge and something you don't. Keeping some of these in your bag, you can just replace them. Yeah. It's going to save your underwear. It's going to save your trousers.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're easy to use, and panty liners are a good thing. They're a saviour. So just keeping a few panty liners in your bag, especially if you're out during the day and you're at meetings or work, they're so easy to use. I mean, they're very simple, and they're very discreet. And just having a few in your bag. And listen, there's no shame in it, and this is why we're having this conversation. Yeah. There is no shame in understanding that your body is not trying to let you down. It really isn't, but it's going through a lot.
Yeah.
So I think we just keep the conversation going and try and make it as normal as possible.
Yeah.
That your periods are just going to be all over the place. And even when, like, I've had the merino coil, but I still might get the odd spotting incident.
Yeah. It's literally the odd spotting incident with you. It's very out of nowhere.
Yeah. And that's even when just having panty lines would really help you.
Yeah.
And for, those kind of things. So I think it's just really important to understand that for everyone in perimenopause, it's the unpredictability that causes a lack of confidence, I think, more than anything else. And that's where having a whole kind of set of different things.
When they say like unpredictable, You didn't have a predictable period?
Well, no, because I had the coil for forever.
Yeah.
But so many women will say to me, like, because we have a support group, because you're in there all the time helping.
Yeah.
But, if you read women's comments, it'll be things like, well, I've had 2 periods in the last 3 months, and then I've had 3 back to back.
Yeah.
Or I haven't had a period for this amount of time, and then I've had 2 in the last month.
Yeah. Yeah. That's up there.
And so that brings with it the whole roller coaster of emotions.
Oh, I can imagine.
So if you know how you feel when you're like, so obviously most viewers will know I've got 3 daughters. So if I'm not that I'm earwigging your conversations, but if I'm listening to conversations, so some of the conversations I hear from you girls saying, "Oh my God, it was so cute and it was so sensitive," and I was going to cry because I'm ovulating in 2 days.
That's you and Rowan.
That's you and Rowan. Oh my God.
It's about our cycle and how our hormones are.
Yeah, and so he's like, "Oh my God, like I'm starting my period tomorrow," so I was like super sensitive.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And I'm like, oh my days, for God's sake.
It's so true though. It's real.
Yes, it's real. So imagine that you have no idea when your period's coming. Imagine that you don't know why you're feeling this way and you don't know why you're feeling super sensitive. And then suddenly your period shows up out of nowhere and it's not a normal period. It's like hugely painful and it's cramping everywhere and you weren't expecting it. Or you've just finished a period and a week later it shows up again.
Can I ask you a question that might be... It's just I don't know about this.
Of course you can.
I don't want to be whatever. Now, when I'm starting my period, for example, I know when mine's quite obviously predictable, 28-day cycle, that kind of thing. I have warning signs prior of the swollen boobs, the hormones acting up, If their cycles are still unpredictable, do they not...
In one perimenopause period that you could lose in your 30s type period.
Wow.
So then you can become
twice as much as crazy.
Yeah, right. Because it could have been stored up for a certain amount of time, and then you could end up losing twice the amount of blood. So imagine you could then have like sudden fatigue because you've lost so much blood, and then you could like literally be hit with a kind of like iron deficiency. And bearing in mind, if not if you're one of our women, because we will have talked to you about magnesium. 100%, but you could be magnesium deficient if you're not like let's talk about vitamin D deficiency. So if you're deficient in magnesium and vitamin D, and then you have a really heavy period and you're low in iron, imagine the fatigue if you've lost twice the amount of blood that you would have normally lost in a period. It's massive. Okay,
for sure.
So the last thing that you want to all of these things really, really add up. So we have to take really, really good care of women in perimenopause. And so, I'm going to put into the show notes the lovely, I would say the lovely humans I always call it people lovely humans. But any company that's doing above and beyond for women in perimenopause, get my vote. You know what I'm like. But they have some resources available and they have a website link available. So I will put it in the show notes as well, just so that anybody that wants, they can go to the show notes for this podcast and click on the link. And there's lots of resources available that Lilette's have provided, and there's links to the menopause charity work as well through the link to Lilette's, and you can go there because what Lilette's are trying to do is give resources to people that might not have access to them as well.
I'm so happy that they're talking about endometriosis as well.
Yeah, I know, it's important.
Those are good 2 things to be discussing, that so many women are dealing with both at the same time.
I know, and that's the other thing is as well. It's like it's not just that. Some women are dealing with one, some women are dealing with both.
You're dealing with one, I'm dealing with one.
I know, we're dealing with both. It's we
are the perfect candidates. This was so
us. Oh my God. Yeah. So I think that's the point. It's like confidence in your period. Keep track of your periods as well. Do we have a period tracker in the portal, in the membership portal?
No.
I'm sure we do.
I don't think we do.
Do we not?
No.
I'm going to make one. For you.
So membership, you heard it here first.
Yes. If you are in our perimenopause membership, I will make you a period tracker as well, because that's really, really important. You will see, I mean, hopefully we track everything. I'm pretty sure. There's loads of trackers in there as well.
There was a question that went in our perimenopause group recently of how do you track your cycles? Some women said calendar.
Yeah.
Some women said like an app, that kind of thing, and then some freestyle it. Most did somehow want to track it as well.
Okay, I'll make a tracker.
Yeah, that would be good.
I'll make a tracker. You'll get a tracker. If you do want
that kind of person, would you guys need this? Oh, done.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Give me 20 minutes, mate. I'll make one for you, my darlings. If you do want to join our perimenopause membership, the link will be there as well. Because we will love you and hold you in a very, very safe place. That's what we're all about. All right, my darlings. I really hope that helps. Wherever you are in the world, obviously right now for us it's World Menopause Awareness Month, and this is the closest episode to World Menopause Awareness Day, and we want you to join with us, please, and keep the conversation going. If you can share this episode, we would really, really appreciate it, because we're trying to spread the word and trying to get the conversation spread as far and wide as possible, because we're so glad that you are here and that you are listening to us. That means the absolute world to us. You can't imagine. But we would love it if you can share the episode, because more and more women, as I said, there's 13 million women in the UK alone right now going through perimenopause and menopause. And there's so many women who are feeling very scared. When I first started going through the perimenopause, I literally thought I was going mad.
Yeah.
No one was having that conversation. No one was out there to help me. And I felt so very, very alone. So if we can stop one more woman thinking that she is all alone and that no one is there to help us, we will have done our job for today, my darlings. So wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us every week. We really do appreciate it. Have a beautiful World Menopause World Menopause Awareness Day.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much. And we will speak to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today on the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful and inspiring.
Don't forget, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, you can reach out through our perimenopause group or on WhatsApp.
For more information on my coaching, perimenopause supplements, books, or upcoming events, please visit www.kategrosvenor.com.
And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. It really helps us reach more listeners just like you.
Until next time, remember, perimenopause doesn't have to be complicated. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Stay uncomplicated.